webinar. Hopefully, all of you are either will be going into leading a troop as a cadet, senior, and ambassador advisor, or already started for this year. So we're going to have some slides. This is going to be interactive. So if you have any questions with anything that I have to say, please go ahead and either unmute your microphone or raise your hand and type in the chat box, one or the other. So if we do not have any questions so far, we're going to go ahead and get started. So a little bit of what we're going to cover is the introduction of the cadet, senior, and ambassador grade level training. We're going to go over some characteristics, how your role as a leader is going to change or has changed from a leader to an advisor. We're just going to briefly go over the GSLE, the Girl Scout Leadership Experience, the journeys, Girl Guides to Scouting, travel opportunities, traditions, and Q&A. Q&A is throughout the entire presentation, so don't hesitate to ask a question if you have one. So the mission of Girl Scouts USA is Girl Scouting those girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. One of the things that I love about Girl Scouts is the empowerment and the advocacy that we give for the girls to develop their own sense of self, purpose, and determination. These girls are learning a lot from you, and with the tools, with the journeys from GSUSA, they're going to be able to take the knowledge that they learn in troop meetings and journeys and apply that to anything that they have. Typically, whenever you think of Girl Scouts, you think of the three C's, which are cookies, crafts, and camping. Here, with our mission, we want people to look at Girl Scouts with the other three C's, which is courage, confidence, and character. So just keep that in mind as we go through the presentation. So a little bit about older girl characteristics. You will notice that your girls will be a lot more social, emotional. They're getting more physical, and that includes physical appearance as far as development. And they are becoming more intellectual. Not to say that they're not smart, but they're starting to look at things from a different perspective and able to make determinations or decisions on their own. And you could probably tell by how they're always attached to their phones, their friends, and everything. And typically, this is where the magic starts to happen because as they're getting out there in their local environment, in their community, they are being able to engage more with everybody who is around them. So, any questions so far? So, your role from a leader to an advisor is going to look differently. I'm trying to pull out my pointer. So you can see here, this is the side of the level of involvement, and down here you will see the grade level. As you can see, when you were a DAISY leader, if you were a DAISY leader, your level of involvement with the day-to-day activities was very high. Because you're looking at 5 or 6 years old, they really cannot make a decision. They can't drive themselves anywhere. So you were very involved in the day-to-day. Now, while daisies can take lead in some activities, either leading the Girl Scout Promise or the law, picking a song, and so forth, you still made the main determination. As the girls get older, your involvement will become less and less. You are still there, but just think of it as a college advisor. You are there to make sure they don't burn anything up, destroy anything, or get lost in the woods. They should be able to lead their own troop meetings, make decisions on trips. They can even assist in calling and making some of the other arrangements while you, as the advisor for the cadet senior and ambassador level, you are there to make sure that they are following all the guidelines of Girl Scouts USA, making sure that everything is in order, there's funds available, everybody is safe, and you have the necessary requirements. But as far as you making all of the decisions, that should really be left to the young ladies, and you're there to support. Now, if they say, hey, we want to take a trip to Antarctica, then it's you to say, okay, that's possible, but look at some of the other things of how they're going to fund it, where they're going to stay, what are they going to do, the purpose. So you're there to pay a little bit of double advocate, but in a good sense. So you are that risk management to make sure that everything goes smoothly, but they should be developing their own leadership skills and handling a majority of the day-to-day operation of their troop meetings on their own at this level. The cadet, you would need a little bit more involvement, but by the time they become a senior ambassador, which is a junior, senior in high school, especially once they start driving, they should be good to go. Are there any questions? Okay. So here are just, and this is going to be available either online or Kaylee will send this out to you. But this is just a little bit of developmental characteristics for girls in this age range. You will see here they're starting to develop confidence and self esteem, maintaining it. And here, when they get to 16, 18-year old, they're able to start living on their own. Not to say that you're going to push them out and they're there to fend for themselves, but they're out there to make some great decisions. And so this is just a little bit of their development, emotional and intellectual development that they're going to come, hear trustworthy friends to know who's good, who's not, and to make those moral decisions and those ethical decisions on their own behalf. So, qualities of a girl driven program. With Girl Scouts USA, this should be a girl led program, and we're going to touch on that just a little bit more. But girls should be doing things that are based on their interests and their needs. Sometimes it may be difficult if what you look at they're interested in nowadays with the music and the movies and the social media, that may not be a time that we grew up in. I know it wasn't a time that I grew up in, but we have to let them know that this is Girl Scouting, not adult scouting, not we're going to do what I want to do or nothing at all, but we have to allow them to explore their own interests and needs. And so a lot of the programs are going to be on that level. And the thing about it is that you don't have to learn everything that you want. This is a perfect opportunity to get other people involved who may be professionals or have more experience in certain activities to come in and to present to the girls, or even allow the girls to learn things and to share that with others. Um, this also includes a girl adult partnership. Again, you're working there together. You're there to empower the the girls to make their own decisions, to make the correct decisions whenever they're planning a program, working on a badge, a journey, or going on a field trip or anything like that. So one of the things here during their planning ideas, you want to make sure that you look at a yearly approach. The ladies in the programs are very busy, and it's not just Girl Scouts that they're involved in. There's sports, there's band, there's social clubs, there's community service clubs, there's just hanging out, period. So you want to make sure that you look at the calendar when the holidays, the school holiday seasons are going on so that you can plan programs around that. This is also helpful during the springtime, especially for those senior and cadets who are preparing to go to college, to look at when people are going to start taking college tours, because you don't want to plan or have them to plan large activities when a lot of work has to go into it, when half of your troop is going to be gone doing college visits or participating in internships or research opportunities. So look at a yearly approach. If not planning day by day or meeting time, what you're going to do in that, but just look at when people are going to be available, when fall product sales are, when cookie sales are, and then go around that. You can also look at a month to month approach. This is very helpful if your girls are extremely busy, they drive on their own, and sometimes they may not need to meet face to face. There are some troops at this level that have online meetings to discuss programs or trips that are coming up, and they can handle everything there and then do other things. It will free them up for other things that they have going on. So a month to month approach allows you to look at what's going on with their social calendar right now and then what may be coming ahead so that you're not putting as much stress if you don't meet a certain deadline or something like that. So these are two different types of approaches that you can look at when planning a program. So letting our girls lead. So here what you want to do is to gather ideas from all the girls. And you can do that by either the graffiti sheet or wall is just basically a post-it note or flip chart where you write down ideas of where girls want to go, what journeys they want to work on, what badges and so forth. Then you want to make sure that you check that you go with safety wise, that you have everything in place. If they want to go to a water trip, do you have somebody who's first aid and CPR and also water certified? If they want to go camping, make sure that your leaders have those certifications. You have the health history forms and permission slips and all that. So once you get all of that information in, you will vote. The girls will vote and come to a consensus. Sometimes it's going to be unanimous or it can be majority rules. And you want to make sure that all the girls understand if they have an idea that people don't vote on, it does not mean that they don't like them or that they think that their idea is silly or stupid or whatever the case may be. It's just you may not have enough time to do everything that everybody wants to do. And that's where your role as an advisor will be to communicate that to the girls so that they understand this is a democracy. We're going to vote. This time I don't get to plan whatever program or trip I want to, but next year or in the spring, we may be able to do that. So just make sure that you are looking out for that information. And if I'm going too fast, just let me know. So, as a recap, many of you have already taken um, Girl Scout Girl Scout 101 or Volunteer Essentials, and this is basically the Girl Scout Leadership Experience Plan. What we want the girls to do, we want them to discover things about themselves, discover things about their community, about their friends, um, just discover world in a different light. We want them to be able to connect to not only each other within a troop to be a sister to every Girl Scout, but we also want them to connect to the community leaders that are out there. And we want them to be able to take action, not just talk about problems or issues that they may see, but to devise a plan to either solve or to work towards a solution for that problem. And so this is what we want them to do. And how they will accomplish these goals are by the three processes. So these are the three keys, and these are the three processes. We want the activities to be girl led. As stated before, the girls at this level, the cadet, senior, and ambassador, should be able to take control and lead their troop meetings, help with the planning process of all programs, activities, and badge work, with you there guiding them to make sure they don't blow anything up or commit any type of felonies. It may happen, but that's what you're there for, to make sure it doesn't. Cooperative learning is where everybody participates in the learning process. One of my favorite examples that I use of how this looks is the Daisy Garden with the first year journeys, and that's where everybody takes a part. You have a garden, you have somebody who knows something about soil, about the type of um, plants or fruits or vegetables that they're going to plant, the watering, the picking them, or when to prune. So everybody is participating in the process at once to come to one common goal or one common outcome. And then you also have, excuse me, learn by doing. The learn by doing is basically hands on experience. If you know how to tie your tennis shoes, nobody just stood there and told you, okay, take string A, wrap it around string B, make a loop, take string B and go around the circle and pull it through. You actually had to put your hands on the shoelaces and do that and go by trial and error. This is the same way when you allow the girls to plan, there's going to be error, but you can only learn from the error if you allow them to make those mistakes. Not fatal mistakes, but those simple mistakes like, hey, you didn't think about this, so we're out of water. Now, what are we going to do? And this gets their critical thinking skills going. It also gets them to start to develop problem solving skills as well. So this is just one part as far as their level. So there are 15 competencies that we want them to gain after from the three keys of success from the discover, connect, and take action. And you can see there's five for each one. So here for discover, we want the girls to discover or develop positive values, you know, morally correct values, positive things about how they should help one another, help each other, not pick or become bullies or anything here. For take action, girls to educate and inspire others to act. If they have a problem, say there's a part, they should be able to bring awareness to that and not only have them in the troop to go and clean the park or make whatever corrections need to be done, but to have the community to get involved, to care about that same issue. So these are 15 competencies, five for discover, connect, and take action of some of the things. You probably ask, well, how do we know if they have done this? Well, you're not going to walk up to a girl and say, hey, have you developed a healthy relationship lately? And that's not a boy girl relationship. That could be a relationship with parents, with community leaders, with teachers, and so forth. But what you're going to do is to observe their healthy relationships if they're able to know what is healthy, what is not, who they're hanging around, and if they're a positive um, influence on them or not. So all of these things you should be able to see and tell a difference from their first time in the program to the latter part of the year. So do we have any questions about the competencies for the three keys? Okay. So when we get it right, this is what the girls experience. Fun with a purpose. This is one of my favorite quotes from Juliet Gordon Low. Scouting rises within you and inspires you to put forth your best. As today, I have been a Girl Scout when I was young. I have worked with Girl Scouts as an adult for a number of years. I'm not going to tell you how many, but for a number of years. And I still to this day refer back to the Girl Scout law as far as being honest and caring and respectful. And a lot of the models that I've learned and that what I did teach to the girls when I had a troop, I still try to enact in myself. There was this quote. I'm from North Carolina, and so it was the Coastal Pines Council. And in their office, they had this quote on the wall that says, "Be careful," something along the lines of, "Be careful what you're doing. A girl is learning from you." And so that made me aware of I need to be conscious of my actions as well. If the girls want to go camping and you're not a camper, it's okay. But I would just warn or suggest that you don't have a negative attitude towards the camping. Sometimes my co-leaders will come up there like, "You don't want to go camping. It's dirty outside." Well, it's outside. It's supposed to be dirty. It's bugs out there. Well, it's better to have them out there than in your own house. So I had to tell my co-leaders, look, this is the girl's first time. The attitude that you have towards something, they're going to adopt, especially if it's something that they have not experienced yet. So if you have a problem with camping, let me know. We can find a replacement or suck it up and deal with it. I was a little harsh on my leaders, but they enjoyed it. I was fun. They liked me. Still do. But what I'm saying is that you can have fun with anything, even if it's something that takes you out of your comfort zone. Just sit back and enjoy the ride. It will be worth it in the end, I promise. So, these are some of the ways that girls can participate in Girl Scouts, which you are aware of. They have the troop, camp, series, events, travel, and virtual. A girl can be a Girl Scout and not participate in a troop. Here, where it shows the grades, this is typically the majority of involvement in these areas. In kindergarten through fifth grade, you see that a lot of girls are in troop. Once they get older, a little bit older, from third to seventh, they're starting to get more busy and things. And sometimes it's easier just to go to camp during the summertime. With the series, it's just kind of like, just think of it college. You have a semester, you have a gap of time that you work through things. You will see here the girls that you will start to deal with are traditionally participating in either events or the travel component of Girl Scout, or they're doing virtual. And virtual can be, they can have a traditional trip with a number, but instead of meeting face to face, they meet online on a secure group set, something similar to what we're doing here at the webinar. They can do things like that, handle all the business that they need to handle, and then report to wherever they need to for the program or the trip they're going to do. So you may have to get used to some girls who you may think have dropped out, but they still may be on the roster as a Girl Scout. They're just participating in a different pathway. And it's just fine. You're just here to support them in any decision that they want to make. Okay. So for cadets, those who are going to be cadet leaders or multicultural, not multicultural, multi-level troops, um, what we have are our journeys, and our journeys have basically three themes. For cadets, you have the three themes are: it's your world, change it; it's your planet, love it; your world, love it; it's your story, tell it. And so with this, you have the amaze, the breathe, and the media. And so one of the things that I love about the journey books, and this goes through each level, is that there's a progression on each book, but they can also stand alone. So if you're starting off on a journey, say you want to start with the second one, breathe for cadet, then you can go ahead and do that and then move to media and then a maze or so forth. If you want to start with a maze, you can and just go down, but they will progress. Things that you learn here, where girls learn to navigate personal relationships, will follow up with these other books. And I don't know where my name is showing up, but it is. Um, so you will have this information. So, any questions about the journeys? And one of the other great things is that you don't have to be on a time frame with these. If you start a book and you're working on it for a few weeks and then you stop because you're working on badges or you're taking trips or anything, you can put it on hold and then come back to it the latter part of the year. The one thing that I would not suggest is for you to say, this is your homework. You didn't finish it here, so you got to take it home. They have enough homework to do. This is not an academic homework type of setting. This is something that if they want to do during their leisure time, they are more than welcome to. But during troop meetings or gatherings, this would be a perfect opportunity to go through this, to work it on your time schedule. So what you can see here, and I'm going to try to enlarge it, at least I hope that it enlarges. So you have the three journeys that they have for cadets, and this is for all levels. And here you have the badges that they will learn through each book. So when they complete the entire book, they will earn this set. You can see 1, 2, 3. It's actually 3 parts. So the book is divided into 3 major sections. Once they complete a section, they will earn part of the badge. Once they earn all 3, they have completed the entire journey. Within the 3 sections, you have here 5 badges that they can earn through the session. So that happens with all 3 books. This right here, the Girl's Guide to Girl Scouting, this is basically a handbook for the Girl Scouts. It has the handbook in there for the cadet level. It has information about obtaining the Silver Award. And these are additional, or what they call traditional, um, badges that they can work on outside of the journeys. And then here are some badges with financial literacy and cookie business that they can earn throughout the year. So these are really not tied to a section in the journey. So you can still do those. And there's more than this. This is just a sample of what they have going on. The journey books, the girls don't have to buy the full set. If you just want, have a troop set, you can have that and either make copies of the worksheets or do it all as a group. So if it's a financial component, you don't have to buy it as long as you're not making the book, copying it, and trying to sell it at a cheaper rate. You're good to go. With the Girl's Guide to Girl Scouting, this is something individual for the girls. Not all girls should have one or need to have one, but they can. But this is something like a scrapbooking of their Girl Scout year as a cadet, because they'll write there, they'll put their personal reflections in there, so they will keep this on their own. This you can share. This is just for their individual record keeping, if you will. So that's for cadets. For seniors, still the same 3 themes. It's your world, change it. It's your world, love it. It's your story, tell it. But you can see here that the books are different. Growtopia, Sao What, where girls become engaged in food issues. And this is great, especially for those who are going green or looking how to reduce their carbon footprint. And then you actually have the next book, Mission Sisterhood, where the girls ignite the meaning of real sisterhood and how to make a change. You know, so far today, as women, sometimes we are competing against one another, and it should not be. We should be there to uplift one another. And this is an excellent book to help navigate through that process. Here with the seniors, it's the same thing with the cadets and also with the other levels that you may be used to. The 3 different books. Here are the pins that they will earn once they completed their book. Here are the 5 badges for the sections as they go through the journey. And here again is some of the traditional badges, and again the financial literacy and cookie business. And finally, for the ambassadors, same theme, different books. You have Your Voice, Your World, where they develop leadership skills of research, problem solving, networking, and persuasive speaking. And this is an excellent tool, especially when they're going off to apply for college, when they're going to these college visits and need to meet key people at a university that they're going to. It will help them to start developing some of those skills to network. You may have a girl who is very bubbly, outspoken, and never met a stranger in their life. That is great, but sometimes when you're putting them in a different type of setting, because that setting is kind of a singular view, is people in their school, their community, in their one little bubble where you know everybody or know of everybody. But when you get to college, it's a different story. Here at Purdue University, we have international students that represent about 140 different countries around the world. That's going to be something different than what they're used to in their community that they grew up in. So then they have justice, where they learn to about their environment and the economy and seeking solutions. And then also bliss, about the girls looking towards their future, about what they want to accomplish in life. And again, you have the three, well, the 110 that they will earn once they complete the journey. And then you will have the handbook. So a little bit different from the senior and cadet, where they don't have the 5 badges that they can earn throughout each individual journey. But some of these are preparing them for life after high school. So that's the reason for the difference. Is there any questions regarding the journeys whatsoever?
Natasha, this is Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm curious about the Take Action projects compared to like a Silver Award or Gold Award project, because obviously those become much bigger as they get older. And so what's your thoughts on kind of the scope of what a Take Action project should be, knowing that, along the same lines, they may be planning for a bigger Silver or Gold Award project?
Can you type that in the two parts, because you were skipping out? So can you just type the difference?
Yep.
And just make sure you do a send all, or everyone. It should be kind of everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, if you hold on to that for the gold and silver, we're going to touch base on that a little bit down the road. Okay? All right. Okay. All right. So here we're going to be talking about traditions, um, getaways, bridging to adult Girl Scouts, scholarships, and what else. One of the things that I do quite enjoy about Girl Scouts, especially when they get to a certain area, is that the work that they've done can actually lead to um, scholarship opportunities. Not saying, hey, I'm a Girl Scout, give me some free money, but they can look at, the community service that they are doing to apply that to an application to a college to earn um, scholarship funds. So that's one of the things that I love. And I know some universities, one of the universities I used to work at, actually, if a boy earned the Eagle Scout Award and a girl earned a Gold Award, they actually were able to compete for a travel scholarship that helped pay for a study abroad trip. So that's some of the great things. So what can girls do? So in addition to Girl Scouting with their regular programs and everything, they have volunteer and training programs. So they can sign up for this. And this is typically for the younger girls, for the cadets, because they have to be a certain age. So they're mainly to be like your helper. and they can help out with younger troops. Like I said, if you have a multi-level troop, they can help you out with brownies or juniors and so forth. So this is a great opportunity of helping to give them some leadership skills. Counselor in trainings 1 and 2, levels 1 and 2, they can actually work um, to become a counselor like you. And so they can go to camps and work. They can lead, these are basically for the older girls, go to be adult volunteers and so forth. So now we're looking at the highest award, what Jennifer was referring to. So junior, you have your bronze. Cadet, you have the, and this is where we come into your questions about what's the main difference between the gold and silver award projects. With the cadets, the take action project, it gives the girls a chance to do things to make their community better. So it's mainly like we see a problem, how can we fix it? And that goes back to, either working at a pet shelter, going to the park and rebuilding or revitalizing a park that may be in ruins or neglected over the number of years. It could be a road or a trash pickup, or the Wabash River needs some great help. So it's looking at things that they can make their community better. So it's something that already that people know, but they're going to work a little bit harder just to make it more pleasing. With the Gold Award for the senior and ambassadors, this is a 7-step project where girls will actually solve a community problem. And these are just ideas. You don't have to go through this. This is something that you and your girls will have to work in. Let's just say there's a overrun, and this is going to be an odd example, but I was just watching Animal Planet. So there's a overpopulation of lionfish, and so one of the problems is that they are killing off the local fish, which is making it very hard and difficult for the fishermen to basically get their catch in, because the lionfish are overtaking the waters and killing all the fish that they usually sell. So one of the things that they're doing to solve that problem is just like deer hunting season or duck hunting season. They have lionfish season where they actually go, and it is, they can win award for the biggest lionfish, for the longest one, so forth. That may sound like a terrible example, but I was just watching it, so it's fresh in my mind. But here they're going to look at a community problem and see what they can do to solve that. One of the other things that they can look at doing when you're dealing with, and these are some of the things that I've saw in, I think it is in New York or New Jersey or one of the areas um, up there. They are doing a lot with building a community garden at schools to promote healthy food, and this is something that you can work on for your bronze award. They can advocate for animal rights and so forth. Um, for silver award, the girls can look at, how to build that network and see something new that people may think that's not an issue, but they can see it as it is. And for example, if there is high crime activity in a certain area at night, not saying they need to be vigilantes and go out there with some nightsticks and try to fight crime. That's not what I'm saying. But they can bring awareness to the area. They can put together um, safety packets for people who may which may include a whistle or emergency contact information. So these are just some of the examples that girls can do. So Jennifer, did that help out at all or no?
I'll try again. Can you hear me better now?
Okay. So you asked the question, are there still service bars or leadership awards that girls can earn for leading activities and organization? And the answer is yes. In the Girl Scout handbook, they have some of those opportunities, and you actually have an opportunity. I think they're still doing the program where a girl can develop their own badge. You know, they can look at all the components or what it takes to make a badge, make sure that it's a girl-led activity, make sure that they're discovering something new, connecting, and that they're taking action, and they can put that into proposal and actually earn their own award. So yes. Are there any other questions? All right. So I hope I gave enough examples for the take action um, component for the gold and the silver award. If not, they do offer those classes um, at Kaleidoscope in the fall and during the spring. So you can take one of those and they can give you a lot more in depth um, explanation and actually go over the paperwork that needs to be completed, the number of community service hours, who needs to sign off with what, and especially important deadline dates that you need to make so that the girls can earn those awards. They can work on them as a group, as a troop together as a whole, or they can work on them individually if they want to do separate projects. So that is a great opportunity. Okay, so Jennifer said, but take action is tied to the journey. No, hold on, let me go back. Is okay, but take action is tied to the journey separate from the gold and silver, correct? Yes, part of the gold and silver award is that you do have to complete a journey. It's not exactly tied, but you do have to complete a journey book in order to fulfill one of those requirements. So it's reading as two separate requirements. And Bernadette says, as I understood it, the difference between journey take action and higher wars is the journey take action is immediate solution where the bronze and silver and gold must be sustainable. And that is correct. So there's two different ones you have to complete is in those journeys. So depending, you don't have to do all three, but just pick a journey that your girls feel closely tied to, and then complete that. And you're right. The other one is something like the examples that I gave, which are bad because we don't have any lionfish population problem here, or but we do have like animal shelters, community part for schools about teaching. That is a sustainable program that they can work on. Any other questions? This is your time. My time is your time. You can ask whatever. And if I don't know, I'll either make it up. No, I won't make it up. I will pass it along. So I think Bernadette is trying to come through.
Oh, nope, sorry.
No?
Um,
Okay. Okay.
no, I'm sorry. I was done. I was
Oh,
just
it's no
gonna
problem. I didn't want
make
to
sure that you read that off for her. I just thought she was having a difficult time understanding the difference between the take action on a
Oh,
journey
okay. Yes, not a
and the,
problem.
but that, you got it. You got it.
Okay. Okay. So the next steps for you guys, attend a service unit meeting. Most importantly, that is where you're going to get your information. It is one day a month for an hour. Hopefully, it's just for an hour. Um, where you get information about service unit events that are going on, any type of deadlines, um, anything that you need to do. Make sure you attend a service unit or at least send a representative from your troop to go to a service unit meeting. If it's you and two or three other co-leaders with you, y'all you can switch them up. You go one month, I go this month, you go the other month. Second, collect necessary forms, documents for year-end reporting. It's very important that you stay on top of that. Some of the things that you can do, especially when it comes to the financing or if girls are moving out of the troop, is to go ahead and complete that or have a running tally of that form. So when it comes to the end of the year, then you will already have it done, especially when you're doing the financial reporting. Okay. Third, open a bank account through Girl Scouts. You may have already have that completed, but if you do not have a bank account, don't use your own. Don't try to go to PestQ and say, this is my savings account that you're just going to run Girl Scout funds. Go through Girl Scouts and set up a banking account, checking, debit, and all of that stuff. Have two people as the signature. Next is participate in fall product and cookie sales. I said cookie sales, so it's supposed to be cookie. And cookie sales. Fall product sales are important. Yes, you do not get as much money as you do for cookies, but it will give you something to start off with. If you say, well, I don't want to ask for them for money here and then go up to the same customers to ask for cookies, I'm telling you now, nobody's going to turn down Girl Scout cookies. I don't care what diet they own. I don't care where they're going to. Nobody's going to turn me down. You can go and ask them for this, and they will still buy cookie sales. Do not let that deter your girls or for you to participate in fall product sales. It will benefit you in the long run. And when I mean you, I mean the troop as far as financing. And at least if they participate in fall product sales, they can go ahead and start building that buzz like, hey, we're selling this, come on, and I'll be back for cookies so that people know when cookies and they're locking down their customers then. So participate in the fall and cookie sales. Get your parents involved in this. Do not put all the pressure on yourself. A lot of times you feel like you're the only one who's doing it, you're the only one who has to. That's because you're not involving anybody else. If you have parents, especially if they work at Home Depot, at a university, wherever the case may be, they can come and participate and either help leading an event, a program, or connecting you with some people who your girls will be honored to meet. Um, get your parents involved. Have them registered as a girl so that they can act as chaperones on trips. They can help drive. They can bring snacks. They can help plan or host an event or whatever the case may be. But get them involved. And then finally, have fun with it. Even though the girls are doing this and there's paperwork, there's this, there's that, have fun with the girls. Relive your childhood. I love working with the troop because I would come home so dirty. I would have to clean the tub as soon as I get out. But I had the ball, and it made the paperwork and the meetings and all of that other stuff worthwhile because I had an excuse to act silly for a change. So that was just me. Um, so just to go back, because I know at this particular level, the cadet senior ambassador, um, the highest awards, the silver and gold. Again, you do have to complete a journey, and it is immediate for the take action, like what you're going to fix right there, but it's within that journey, and they'll give you more instruction on that. The other take action component is something based on what your girls or the troop will decide on. And the girls can either work on this individually or they can work on it as a troop. So you could do it either or. If you work at it as a troop, then each girl is going to be responsible for turning in the paperwork and getting the signatures, but you're still doing the same work. But they still have to complete their same packets and things like that. So, any questions? Any? All right. So this is just a quick example of what the uniform you can either do a vest or you can do a sash. Um, don't be so hung up on having like the pants, the shirt, the little bow tie thing if they haven't. Typically, according to, the Girl Scout uniform consists of the Girl Scout pin and their level. And so this is merely decorations. So, but it shows what they have done. So one of the things that my troop did, we had a polo shirt design that was cheap. It was like $6 for each girl, and that they were only required to get a vest or a sash so that they can iron on, the area, the council, the troop number, and their badges that they worked on and completed. So you can do that. It's up to you. Okay. So, any questions? Any questions? Okay. So Kaylee is going to send out an evaluation by email either later tonight or tomorrow morning. So please fill that out and be honest because what we want is for to get feedback of what you need because what you need other leaders slash advisors is going to need. And so there's some things that I did not cover that you really want to ask. Please just go ahead and just send that in and you can contact Kaylee and if you want to contact me, Kaylee will share my information with you. So if you want to email me directly, you are perfectly happy, willing, you can do that. And I do typically respond to everybody. When I mean typically, I mean I do. So if there are no questions, Kaylee, do you have any remarks or any reminders or anything that you want to
No.
mention?
I just want to say thank you to Natasha for hosting such a great session. It was really informative. And like she said, I will follow up tomorrow with a email and I'll have a copy of these slides on it and we'll have an evaluation and I'll include Natasha's contact information so you can reach out to her if you have any questions about Cadet Seniors or Ambassador. And I'll include some information. She mentioned Kaleidoscope. That is coming up November 12th, Saturday, November 12th here at our new Leadership and Learning Center. So I'll include information about that so you can know when to register.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And ladies, thank you all for joining in and giving me an hour of your time. I greatly appreciate it. And so, if nothing else, you can just click on in this meeting and disconnect and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you all. Have a good night.